Good afternoon, colleagues. It is the appointed time and we have a quorum. I call to order the meeting. Item 1 on the agenda, information paper issued since last meeting. One paper has been sent to members, that's CB brackets 3 1347 2025-01. Item 2. Briefing by the Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs and the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism on the Chief Executive's 2025 Policy Address. 2 papers have been sent to members. Will the Secretariat please invite the government officials to come in? Members, if you would like to ask questions, please press the Request to Speak button. Welcome, government officials from the 2 bureaus. Now I will first invite Ms. Alice Mack, Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs, to walk us through the paper, and then I will invite Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, Ms. Rosanna Law, to walk us through the other paper. I welcome non-panel members to attend our meeting today. Ms. Mack. Thank you, Chairman, and good afternoon, members. The Chief Executive has delivered the 2025 Policy Address. Concerning the measures in relation to our Bureau, a paper has been submitted. I will brief members on the highlights of our work initiatives, and I will listen to members' views and questions. On youth development, we attach importance to youth development. Since the Youth Development Blueprint was published in late 2022, the HYAB and other policy bureaus have been promoting youth development work and launched new measures to nurture a new generation of young people with an affection for our country and Hong Kong with a mission. Now, in this year's policy address, we have a number of new measures in relation to youth development, showing our determination to promote youth development. We have also launched a series of overseas and mainland internship and exchange programs so that the youth can learn about the developments in the country and the world. There are also a series of enhancements concerning international and mainland exchanges. We will also launch a series of enhanced and in-depth exchange programs to encourage our youth to have a broader horizon. On the 27th of September, that is last Saturday, we have successfully held the 2nd Youth Summit. Now, the theme was Good Stories of Hong Kong Youth. We have invited heavyweight speakers from various sectors to attend the meeting. Experience concerning youth development was also shared. More than 3,000 youth attended the summit, with some 600 from overseas places, including the US, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and so on. Many members here were also present last Saturday. Now, in September 2023, we have established the Youth Link to link up our youth members The Youth Link will provide them with an opportunity to showcase their multi-facet talents. There are some 18,000 members under the Youth Link. To provide a physical platform for members of the Youth Link, we are going to establish a platform in the Nam Chong Street District Community Center and the adjacent Tung Chung Street Temporary Market, which includes multifunction areas, a youth culture and creativity bazaar, and small-scale performance spaces. The first phase of the platform will be completed by the end of this year. In last year's policy address, we proposed to change the Kaida Community Isolation Facility into a youth development facility. In April this year, we have completed open tender exercise and selected the operator of Youth Post. And then we have set up a task force to closely liaise with the operator. The Youth Post hostel has started running in July on a pilot basis. A series of activities have been held. Now the operator is now gathering views from the participants to prepare for the official opening. Now the hostel will provide affordable accommodation for young people from the mainland and overseas. There will also be some 100 youth activities of different types organized by the Youth Post for enhancing exchange. Now, we will convert parts of the Youth Square in Chai Wan to establish a new interactive space for young people together for exchanges. There will also be a video studio, which will be completed by the end of this year. To better equip our youth, we will launch a new young talent training program to enhance young people's understanding and knowledge on the following areas. 1. Provide more opportunities for young people to participate in international organizations' internships. 2. Launch a new media thematic internship program in the mainland to provide opportunities for young people studying communication to undertake internship at major media outlets in the mainland. 3. Deepen the youth financial education program launched in 2024 to provide young people with information on financial planning. And 4. Launch a brand new workshop on mediation to enable young people to acquire basic mediation concepts and knowledge. Now, to meet young people's need of their own space, we will continue to expand the youth hostel scheme, including subsidizing NGOs and hotel operators to convert hostels and hotels into youth hostels. Now, the number of youth hostel places has increased from 80 since the coming into time of this government to 3,700. We will continue to listen to stakeholders and young people's views on the blueprint and launch new measures to meet young people's needs. On family and women's development, we attach great importance to the healthy development of families and women's development in Hong Kong. In June 2023, we established the Women Empowerment Fund. So far, some 300 projects have been approved. In light of the enthusiastic response from the community to the fund, and to further advance women's developments, the Chief Executive announced this year that the annual funding would be increased from $20 million to $30 million to enhance support for the work of the fund and meet the changing needs of women's development. In last year's policy address, we have launched the She Inspires mentorship program, which matched local female university students with women leader mentors. The program has successfully recruited over 50 women leaders as mentors and about 80 mentees. In view of the overwhelming response for the inaugural cohorts, the 2025 policy address has announced that the mentee quota will be increased by 50% to 120 in the second cohort, enabling more female university students to benefit from the program. On family, we have been collaborating with the Family Council to launch the Hong Kong Excellence Family Awards to promote good family values. We have received applications from 1,200 families. They share their real-life family stories of mutual respect, love, and so on. Now, the funding scheme on the promotion of family education launched last year is also popular. We will continue to promote good family values in society. Now, last October, the HYAP organized the first Family and Women Development Summit. Riding on last year's summit and to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the adoption of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action at the UN's 4th World Conference on Women, we will organize the second Family and Women Development Summit in early 2026 to discuss with sectors measures to continuously promote family and women development. And also, we have launched the one-stop platform for family information as well as maintenance mediation program. We will continue with these work. Now, we support ethnic minorities to integrate into the community. We also support women to integrate into society's affairs. We will continue to promote a message of caring for families and so on. On district governance, in 2023, we have enhanced district governance, including reforming the district councils and focus our energies on livelihood issues. District governance efficiency has received a great boost. Now, the Steering Committee on District Governance and the Task Force, since the establishment in July 2023, policy measures have been set for more than a dozen important livelihood issues. They have enhanced district services and improved cityscape. Now, the HYAB and the district and the Home Affairs departments will continue to support the work of the care teams and district work to improve the livelihood of people. Now, in terms of district services and community care teams, under the leadership of the 3 committees and also the district council, we have improved the communication mechanism within the district governance system so that we can understand better the people's concern and to deliver material improvement to different aspects of people's livelihoods. Taking tally of the Troika district governance system, we will continue to improve the relevant cooperation mechanism and enhance the efficacy of district governance. Now, in terms of ethnic minorities, we have been helping EMs to integrate into society. In order to provide more help to EMs, the Chief Executive announced in this year's policy address that the Home Affairs Department will set up 1 additional ethnic minority care team in each of the 2 support service centers for ethnic minorities serving the North Districts and Islands Districts this year to address the anticipated growth of the EM population and the needs. Furthermore, the existing 10 EM centers will have their own youth network and women network. There will be more activities tailor-made to suit the needs of EM youth and women for their well-being. Now, in December this year, the HAD will set up an additional interpretation and translation center for EMs to reduce the inconvenience caused by language barriers. We will continue to strengthen the promotional messages and radio programs, including launching dedicated radio programs on racial integration this year. Now, we are also helping building management to fulfill their responsibilities. Now, we will establish working groups in all 18 districts to enable district council members to share experiences on promoting quality building management practices with their districts. We will work with the Property Management Services Authority to co-organize a forum to exchange the best practices in building and property management. Starting from the 1st of June 2025, we have launched a 1-year-long joint management program. Now, since the launch of the program, we have seen very enthusiastic responses. More than 110 buildings have signed a letter of intent to join the joint management program. Now, several buildings in Shamshui-Po and Yaochimong have agreed to conduct a joint tender for building management. Now, the district office has also helped some buildings in Yaochimong and Shamshui-Po to conduct joint tendering for building works. For the 61 buildings which have signed the letter of intent, among them, 3 were 3 new buildings. An owner's operation has been established for the sake of the program. Now, depending on the success of the program, we will expand the program to other areas. About the Building Management Amendment Ordinance 2024 has come into effect. We have organized promotional events to help stakeholders understand the new requirements. In the next phase, we will conduct a review on the Building Management Ordinance for further amendments. Now, care teams are like an important component in district governance. Now, the 18 district care teams have been reaching out proactively to provide help to residents, and also help owners' corporations to deal with emergencies. The 18 care teams will start their second terms of service soon. Now, we have added 3 care teams and improved the KPIs for the second term of their service. Now, the government will continue to train up care team members so that care teams can nurture better collaborative relationship with local community bodies. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to ask Ms. Rosanna, Law Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism, to give us a briefing. Thank you. I'd like to brief members on measures on culture and sports. We have set up the Chinese Culture Promotion Office in 2024. We will develop the Chinese Culture Festival and the exhibitions of the general history of China. We will also set up a museum showcasing the development and achievements of our country. We will continue to launch different activities in order to promote profound traditional Chinese culture. Hong Kong is one of the 3 arts trading centers in the world. Art Basel Hong Kong has become an international event for visual arts since its debut in Hong Kong in 2013. Riding on this development, and in order to further leverage on the development of Hong Kong, we will endeavor to step up our efforts to build Hong Kong into a global premium art trading hub. We will also be actively developing this platform. We will work closely with Art Basel and consolidate our position as the exclusive host city in the region. On taxation, financing, talent, and other areas, we will conduct studies in order to devise policy measures applicable to Hong Kong. The WKCD is one of the most important infrastructure when it comes to culture in Hong Kong. The WKCDA is expected to complete the Artist Tower in 2026. It will attract more enterprises to come to Hong Kong. The WKCDE will expand training for talent in curation, conservation, arts administration, and other fields systematically. We will also refocus the performance and venues and promote performing arts mega events. Hong Kong Coliseum will be refocused to prioritize concerts to promote Hong Kong's concert economy and develop it as the capital of popular culture. Other LCSD venues will also be repositioned in order to establish clearer venue identities and foster a diversified professional industry and mega event development of performing arts. We will attract locals as well as tourists using festivals such as Hong Kong Pop Culture Festival, the Asia Plus Festival, and Hong Kong Performing Arts Expo and Hong Kong ICH Month. We will develop ICH around town in order to foster the culture of ICH. The Hong Kong Art Development Council will organize the second edition of Hong Kong PAX in 2026 in order to create a platform for creative exchange, collaboration, and promotion. In 2026, we will select no less than 8 LCSD venues such as Kai Tak Station Square to introduce commercial elements, including opening up the venues for hire, leasing out museum venues on their closing days for organizing commercial or private events, introducing paid guided tours for high-end visitor groups, and developing more cultural and creative products. We will also designate the Lei Yue Mun Park Holiday Camp and selected beaches as a pilot site for inviting interested commercial and sports organizations to submit feasible proposals of commercial operation, thereby developing these sites into new recreational, leisure, and aquatic venues. People find this scheme well received. We are glad to see that society has been contributing different proposals in order to enhance the appeal of beaches. On sports developments, The 15th National Games, the 20th National Games for PWDs, and the 9th National Special Olympic Games will be held in November and December 2025 respectively. We feel the great honor as well as the sense of responsibility given to us. We are just 40 days away from the opening of the National Games. We are in the final stretch of preparation. In late August and early September, we finished 2 mass participation events, including bowling and para-dance sport of NGDSO. We got a total of 3 gold and 3 bronze medals for para-dance sports. 3 different channels we have been promoting national games to create an atmosphere in society. The Council also organized activities to cheer up for the athletes of the national games. Different organizations have been sponsoring the event. The Hong Kong Jockey Club has provided a total of $450 million sponsorship and become the exclusive partnership sponsor for the Hong Kong competition region. Starting from the 13th of August 2025, we have been starting to sell tickets. There are also free broadcasting of shows to cheer for the athletes of Hong Kong. It is our responsibility to organize the national games well. We will try our level best to lay the groundwork for the national games. We will leverage this opportunity and use well the Kaitai Sports Park, which opened in March this year. We will also be showing to the international community our capacity for organizing mega events. The Kaitai Sports Park was commissioned on the 1st of March. It has become a mega venue for recreation and sports. Rugby sevens, volleyball, basketball, a couple of different sports events have been held in the Kaitai Sports Park. A total of 20 shows covering concerts have been held. It has attracted over 1 million spectators to the park. Over 50% of the spectators were visitors. We will try our best to promote sports plus mega events economy. We will also be reviewing the positioning of the Kaitai Sports Park to achieve complementarity. We will be liaising with the NSAs to make good use of venues. We will make good use of the MMARC scheme to support major sports events as well. We will allocate resources in a more targeted manner in order to support sports events with greater economic benefits. We have signed a multi-year partnership arrangement with the world-class men's professional golf tournament Live Golf. They will be held in Hong Kong in 2026 and 2027 respectively. Hong Kong elite athletes have achieved outstanding results in international competitions in recent years. The government has finished the review of athletes' direct financial support in March this year. We have completed a review on the elite vote support system in March this year as well. The SFNOC is implementing the Code of Governance, and we will also leverage on the support of NSA and we will encourage NSA to actively participate in the work of Asian and international sports associations. SFNOC will organize the General Assembly of the Association of National Olympic Committees in December in 2026. In the coming year, we will be actively developing measures on culture, sports, and tourism in the coming year. We welcome members' views and suggestions. Thank you. Thank you, Secretaries. I will now read out the order in which members are going to speak. Ms. Chen Yunming, Mr. Rock Chen, Dr. Johnny Ng, Mr. Vincent Chang, Ms. Chen Yong, Ms. Connie Lam, Mr. Kenneth Lang, Mr. Kenneth Falk, Mr. Perry Yu, Mr. Kenneth Lau, Mr. Lok Chung Hong, Ms. Rebecca Chen, Mr. Ambrose Lam, and myself. Thank you. 4 minutes for each member, questions and answers included. Let's hear from the first member, Ms. Chen Yutming, Deputy Chair. Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to ask 2 points. One, care teams. I thank the Secretary for enhancing the arrangement for care teams. I know very well how care teams play its role. In Cha Tau Kok and Taku Lane, care teams serve the community by providing immediate support. I thank the Secretary in particular for using the resources well to split the teams into 2 smaller teams to provide better services for the district. I thank the Secretary for the new arrangement. There will be 3 new care teams, and the second stage KPI has already been enhanced. This will provide better services for the district. Sometimes it takes 2 months for care teams to disburse the funds. Volunteers need to take money out of their own pockets to conduct volunteering work, and I hope that the Secretary will review the situation. I'd also like to talk about the National Games. On recruiting a total of 16,000 volunteers for the National Games, I'd like to know how to enhance the sense of gain for volunteers. I'd like to ask the Secretary, apart from providing transport allowances, what other measures or incentives will the administration provide, for example, a certificate of volunteer, in order to enhance the sense of gain for volunteers? In relation to the 15th National Games, which will start on the 9th of November, it is the first event held conjunction with Guangdong and Macau. I wish the event a phenomenal success. Upon the close of the National Games, I'd like to know what the administration will do to the Mega Event Coordination Office. Will it be adjusted? Can you share with us? Thank you. Secretary, thank you. I thank Ms. Chen for your suggestion. First of all, I thank member for your suggestion. Apart from Ms. Chen, a lot of members provided us with a lot of useful comments on the operation of care teams in Stage 1. Just now I talked about a couple of principles. First of all, I need to make sure there will be seamless interfacing from Stage 1 and Stage 2. We will also be deepening our work in Stage 2. Members' views have been absorbed in our work. Phase 1 Cha Tau Kok Taku Lane, 1 district. But we want to allow the district care teams to provide better services. That's why it will be split into 2 teams. Regatta hit Hong Kong last week. Cha Tau Kok and Taku Lane needed to cater for residents of an area of a total of 2,000 hectares. However, care teams did their level best to serve the district. There is a residential care home in Cha Tau Kok, and I have to commend care team volunteers. In the low-lying area, residents needed to be evacuated to a primary school nearby, and we're talking about a total of 28 to 29 elderly people. We don't simply help their way out of the homes and went to the primary school. Instead, we needed to take all the facilities from the original homes to the primary school. Excuse me, Chairman, I'd like to speak for a longer while because I want to tell members about the work of care teams. We needed to move all the beds from the care homes to primary school. That's why, as members can see, these volunteers have enjoyed a funding of 50% more. However, it is only for them to provide services. It's not salary for them. All these volunteers provided services very diligently. That's why in the second stage we have absorbed members' view. When it comes to the clawback mechanism for funds, we have already expedited the disbursement mechanism. We don't want volunteers to take money out of their own pocket to provide volunteering work for us. Thank you.
全運會回答。
What about the question on national games? Please wait for the next round. Mr. Rockchen. Thank you, Chairman. Now I congratulate the HYAP on the success of the Youth Development Summit held last Saturday. I'm pleased that there will be more opportunities for our local youth to attend international conferences and internship programs. I would like to know more. What places are we talking about, and what kind of conferences and internship opportunities will there be? Now, if the program is proven to be successful, will there be a mid to long-term developments to expand the program so as to support young people go to more countries and places to attend conferences and receive training? Now, the other question is for Ms. Rosanna Law. We are one of the 3 premium art trading centers in the world, but New York and London have a very sophisticated art trading market. So how can we compete with the 2 other hubs? And how can we achieve homogeneous development or heterogeneous development? Now, in terms of financing, how can we attract the relevant trade to come to Hong Kong for art financing and other services? Ms. Rosanna Law. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Chen, for your question. Yes, the 3 major art trading hubs in the world are New York, London, and Hong Kong. Now, the positions change from time to time. In 2020, we were ranked 2nd. Now we are ranked the 3rd. So there are bound to be some changes in our rankings. Now, our strengths lie in the following. First of all, we are the only art trading market in the Asia-Pacific region, and we enjoy the backing of the country. We have geographical advantage because it is very convenient to come to Hong Kong. In terms of tax, in terms of art trading, the taxation system is very complicated. For example, there is the capital gain tax and also other taxes. Hong Kong has a simple tax regime. In terms of art trading, we only charge profit tax from the auction houses, and the rate is very low. So we don't need to revamp our taxation system. To enjoy advantages in taxation. And very often art collectors do not bring their auction items home. They will store the artistic items in situ. So it is very important to build a warehouse for art collection as the international airport, so that art collectors can store their properties in the airport. So for buyers and collectors, these are very convenient facilities for them. And Hong Kong is a major art financing center. That's why we are going to conduct more researches with the industries to develop more financial tools and products to facilitate the growth of the art trading market. Ms. Alice Mack, would you please briefly respond to the first question? Thank you. We thank the country for the significant support given to our youth. Our youth enjoys a lot of opportunities to receive internship in international bodies like the UN. Now, currently, there is an internship program offered to Hong Kong youth in the United Nations. Youth also enjoys opportunities in Laos and Kazakhstan. And during the summit on last Saturday, officials from Saudi Arabia and other Middle Eastern countries have come to Hong Kong. We will continue to explore internship and conferencing opportunities with them. Now, I remind members, if your questions are for both bureaus, please keep your questions succinct. The same also applies to the government officials. Dr. Johnny Ng. Thank you, Chairman. I have two questions for both secretaries. First, Ms. Alice Mack. Paragraph 9 of the paper, the deepening of the youth financial education program. Now, last year, you worked with the Investors Education Council. So can you tell us the feedback of the program last year? And recently, we have seen scams targeting university graduates or undergraduates. There are also investment scams. So how can we educate our youth on managing their finances and also prevent against scams? And the second question is for Ms. Rosanna Law. I applaud the Bureau's work on culture and sports developments. Now, there is a permanent show that is the Impossible Trial. It is now a regular and permanent performance. So are there any other venues which can offer a place for permanent performances, and what are the criteria for becoming a permanent performance? Ms. Alice Mack. Thank you. In 2024, the Youth Financial Education Program targets the tenants in our youth hostels. The aim was to help them to manage their finances better. Now, the reception has been great. Every activity has been fully signed up. Professional guidances provided by the Investors Education Council were very well received by young people. So besides youth hostel, we will also extend the program to the youth post and other platforms. So this year, besides personal finances, we will also educate young people on financial investment knowledge. So we have also invited the Monetary Authority to co-organize our seminars. We also welcome legislative members' participation. Ms. Rosanna Law, thank you for the question. Now, the Impossible Trial has been a success. After the 30 shows held in Hong Kong, the show is going to be shown in the mainland, and afterwards the performance would return to Hong Kong. Now, this is a performance on the invitation by the West Kowloon Authority, so it will only be performed in the Tziju Center. Now, after the performance venue at West Cape Pact has been completed, there will be more venues for permanent performances. Now, at the East Kowloon Cultural Center, there will also be a permanent performance that is a musical called Highlight by Charles Cowell. Now, we have also advised performing groups to apply for the Venue Partnership Program. The scheme targets quality performances for performance in Hong Kong. Now, we have collected many interesting views. In the fourth quarter this year, we will announce the approved list of performances, which can be shown in next year. So there will be more venues to host permanent performances in Hong Kong in the future. Mr. Vincent Zhang, I thank the two bureaus for their efforts. Many breakthroughs have been achieved and emergencies have been dealt with successfully. Now, first of all, on the arrangements of the national games. I think the promotional campaign has been successful. But after all, this is the first time we have such a mega event in Hong Kong. 400,000 tickets will be sold. So at present, what is the response? Now, there are many community organizations which would like to buy tickets for their charges. For example, some residential care homes would like to purchase tickets for the elderly people. Some schools would also like to buy tickets for their students. Now, for example, for rugby, the games will be held on weekdays on the 11th, 13th, and 14th. So I support the ideas of school students attending these games. So will the CSTB collaborate with schools to bring students to the games? Now for the HYAB, there will be more youth link platforms and youth posts. Now there are a lot of measures under the blueprint for youth development. Now, rather than more services, maybe young people would like more exposure to the outside world. So will the government involve young people more in your outreaching exercises? Ms. Rosanna Law, thank you, Mr. Zhang, for your suggestions on national games arrangements. Now, tickets are selling well as of now. But of course, the official game days will be more popular than the trials and the pre-game tests. So of course we welcome organizations and schools to purchase group tickets. We will work with the Education Bureau in this regard. And our sponsoring partner, the Jockey Club, would also mobilize their stakeholders to purchase tickets in events which they participate. Ms. Alice Mack, concerning tickets for national games, the care teams and also our district officers have been assisting elderly people to overcome the digital gap. So we are very pleased to help elderly people to use mobile apps to purchase tickets. Now, when the second service term of care team begins, if elderly people would like to learn how to use mobile apps to purchase national games tickets or use other services, care teams will be glad to help. Now, we agree with Mr. Vincent Zhang that we are now encouraging the EM population to integrate into society. So we are doing more than providing services to EM residents. Instead, we provide a platform and opportunities for young people of ethnic minorities to shine. So last Saturday, at the Youth Development Summit, many docents were EM youth. We have been involving EM youths in provision of community services. Thank you.
Next member, Mr. Brave Chen, thank you. The HYAB and the CSTB work on livelihood issues. When Typhoon Signal number 10 was hoisted last week, care teams provided a lot of help. In the Youth Development Summit, Well, resources should be channeled into areas with more help. We need to focus on areas in which teenagers need more help with. And I'd also like to talk about care teams. They provided support in different areas. The HYAB didn't receive the most resources. Can you draw reference from the Civil Aid Service as well as the AMS? The training provided by these units are very professional. My next question is for the CSTB. The CSTB organizes a lot of mega events. I need to give them a round of applause. Just yesterday, Mr. Rusin Lau and I went to an event. We went to a carnival yesterday. Overall, it was quite an impactful event. After the event in West Kowloon, it was kind of quiet in the evening. Probably the weekends are less quiet, but on weekdays we will introduce more elements into the West Kowloon Cultural District in order to attract more footfall. The light decorations we saw yesterday were a new addition. Tourism is everywhere in Hong Kong. Now the WKCDA is under fiscal pressure. We need to pull resources into the West Kowloon Cultural District so the members of the public will know there are a lot of activities in that area. Ms. Mack? Well, I will try to be quick. Thank you. We will definitely channel more resources into youth development. We'll focus on what young people need. In September 2023, the Youth Link was set up. A total of 18,000 young people joined seminars, exchange sessions in order for us to keep the finger on the pulse of young people. Now, we also have the new media thematic internship program. Journalism students provided feedback to us. They want to have more internship programs with more characteristics. Regarding support given to care teams, can we provide training at a level similar to the Civil Aid Service? Well, I have to say the CAS is a uniform group. However, care teams are volunteers. But no matter how many resources were pulled into the care teams, they won't be turned into the CAS. Whenever needed, the care teams will be mobilized to provide assistance to the community. Mr. Son-in-law, please be brief. Thank you. Whenever there are any events, mega events, concerts, there is bound to be a lot of footfall. The West Kowloon Cultural District is no exception. If the areas of the museums are a bit quiet in the evening, well, I do understand. It is actually quite normal. I understand more activities in the area will attract more footfall. And we need to identify events that can be turned into an industry. We shouldn't just organize events in order to attract footfall for the sake of it. I'm concerned about the cost effectiveness as well. Thank you. Next member, Ms. Connie Lam. Thank you, Chairman. In the interest of time, I'd like to focus on the CSTB. Mega events have been held in Hong Kong, and we are going to have more in the future. We need to allow persons with disabilities to enjoy equal opportunities. Say we have the National Games, which is the largest event in Hong Kong. When it comes to the preparatory work, I can see that the administration has been doing quite a lot of work. In the past 3 months, I visited different venues of the LCSD together with some organizations, say the Hong Kong Society for Rehabilitation. In our visits, we saw that in some venues, especially for the Kaiser Sports Park, for wheelchair users, they cannot call up the box office. The lines couldn't get through, and there aren't any wheelchair positions for them to queue up. Well, in the end, they had to contact the box office via email, and it is only after 71 days that they finally got a ticket. So I'd like to see improvement in the ticketing arrangements. For national games, there are a lot of overseas tourists. There are also wheelchair users who want to come to Hong Kong to watch the games. Are there any arrangements that are wheelchair friendly? Are there any telephone ticketing arrangements? Any ticketing arrangements on the spot? In addition to the national games, will you add terms and conditions into the contract so that arrangements can be made for wheelchair users to buy tickets? Well, for a Quiting Theatre, which is under the purview of the LCSD, arrangements are made to make it convenient for wheelchair users to buy tickets. I'd like to hear from the Secretary regarding ticketing arrangements of City Line. Thank you. The hosting organization provides their own ways for people to buy a ticket. Is it possible to make improvements in relation to telephone ticketing? Well, there is always room for improvement. We will talk to the Kaiser Sports Park to relate your concerns. In relation to barrier-free arrangements, well, I was involved in a project on the Equal Opportunities Commission. Any new facilities in Hong Kong needs to meet the requirements of barrier-free facilities. In Quiting Theatre under the LCSD, there was a complaint about wheelchair being unable to move freely. There were a lot of bands inside the theater. We want to provide facilities that make it convenient for wheelchair users to move around freely. So far, we haven't yet received any complaint from PWDs who find it difficult to buy tickets. For individual wheelchair users who find it difficult to buy tickets, we welcome any views and we welcome any suggestions as well. Thank you. Next member, Mr. Kenneth Leung. I'd like to ask the CSTB in the interest of time. Thank you. I'm glad to see the multi-year partnership arrangement with Live Golf. I went to watch the game as well, and I can see that this event goes a long way towards boosting the local economic development. I'm glad to see this partnership arrangement. It is good to have a regular Live Golf arrangement, and the M-Mark system was enhanced earlier on. And we need to focus on economic benefits brought about by the M-Mark system. Can the administration let us know more about the standard of economic benefits? Is it the number of overseas visitors or the amount of consumption? We need standards. Can you tell us more about them? And I'd like to ask about the national games as well. In the past 2 weeks, the volunteer inaugural ceremony was held, and it is the largest volunteer scheme in the history of Hong Kong. upon the close of the 15th National Games, how will the administration continue to tap the volunteer pool that have signed up for the volunteering work in the National Games? How will you seize the opportunity to continue to use well the forces of volunteers? Thank you. Regarding the economic benefits of mega events, we have already talked a lot about Live Golf. For consumption per capita, $2,300. These figures were provided by the host organizations, and we can verify whether this is true. Was the event a one-day event or a multiple-day event? Did visitors stay over in Hong Kong for a longer period of time? If it is a multiple-day event, I believe it is more likely for visitors to stay overnight in Hong Kong. For different games or mega events, they vary from one to another. Some events may bring more economic benefits. For others, however, they are international events. They are qualifying games, and they will help with local sports development. So in our review of the M-Mark system, we conduct a review in this regard that is either from the perspective of economic benefits or the importance of games. Regarding the volunteers of the 15 national games, for large enterprises or public utilities, their volunteer teams are very supportive of our national games. The volunteer organizations keep a large pool of volunteers, so we leverage on the strength of the VDC. We have selected 16,000 out of a total of 30,000 volunteers. We have already kept their contact. Whenever we need a large number of volunteers, we will get a hold of them in due course. A lot of these volunteers provide volunteer services in different organizations and events, so they are willing to provide services to Hong Kong if need be. Thank you. Mr. Kenneth Falk. Thank you, Chairman. Last year, we led a team of committee members of the sports industry to meet with Mr. Chen, the Chief Secretary for Administration, to support the going global of the National Sports Associations to tell the good stories of Hong Kong. The International Dragon Boat Association is planning to come to Hong Kong, and we have already seen the first stage of results. The industry is supportive of the government. We agree the reform of the performance venues in Hong Kong. Some friends from the sports industries are concerned some sports events may not be able to be held in the Kaiser Sports Park. Therefore, they want these sports events to be held in the Hong Kong Coliseum. We don't want the repositioning of performance venues will affect the possibility that sports games are held in Hong Kong Coliseum. Regarding culture, sports, and tourism, one of the important highlights is the introduction of commercial elements to the LCSD to enhance services. Commercial operation. This is the key phrase. It is good that the LCSD will leverage market forces to develop new products. It is good that the Hong Kong Stadium will lend space for national sport associations to use. Can the Hong Kong Stadium work with the public sector? We need new arrangements. We shouldn't just rely on the funds of the government. Can we work with the private sector when it comes to the operational mode? Is it possible to break new grounds? It's about our long-term plan. Thank you.
Ms. Law. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Fogg. The usage of Hong Kong Stadium. I have had many discussions with Mr. Kenneth Fogg and even Mr. Kenneth Fogg's father, Mr. Fogg Sr. Now, for example, there are some NSAs with limited spaces as the special and the SFOC building, so they may be moved to the Hong Kong Stadium to enjoy larger office spaces. We will conduct research to develop synergy between the Hong Kong Stadium and the Kai Tak Sports Park. Now, there are some NSAs think that the sports venues in the Victoria Park is too small. So we may open up the Hong Kong Stadium to these sports groups. Now, especially the spectator stands, as the Hong Kong Stadium is permanent, so we may not need a lot of modification for alternative uses. For example, during several months in a year, certain NSAs may use the Hong Kong Stadium as their competition venues, and only a very minimal alteration cost is needed. Now, for the use of Hong Kong Coliseum, in the past, many concerts have been held in the Coliseum. Now, at present, Kai Tak Sports Park is the major venue for concerts. But still, the Hong Kong Coliseum is a venue with a 10,000 spectator capacity. There are also other supporting facilities near the Coliseum. So, after the successful completion of the Hong Kong badminton competition, the Badminton Association would like to continue to use the Hong Kong Coliseum for their venue in the next year. I would like to declare interest. I am the chairman of the SFOC. Since I mentioned the SFOC, I would like to declare my interest. Next, Mr. Perry Yu. Thank you, Chair. I've always been concerned on how to facilitate the approval process of guest house and hotel licenses. And I'm also concerned about how to better enforce the law to crack down on illegal operation of guest house. Now, the policy I just mentioned that facilitation measures would be formulated to support operation of guest houses in rural areas. So in terms of holiday camps and B&Bs, what is the government's definition? Now, the market is changing rapidly. Even study tours have very high expectation of what a holiday camp is. And travelers are looking for homestay lodging with higher and higher quality. So I don't think that by allowing simple modification of homes into guest houses, we can meet the travelers' needs. Now, there are 334 hotel licenses, and there are 1,000 and we have 1,244 guest house licenses with some 1,000 rooms available. So what's the government's estimate on the future supply of hotel and guest house rooms? Will they be sufficient to support the development of our tourism industry? On cross-bureau collaboration, the LCSD will be operating with commercial elements. That's very innovative. Just last Saturday, I visited the Puyol beach and another beach to see how the beaches are faring after the typhoon. And I saw a beach concert taking place. I think there would be a lot of potential for beaches. So please be succinct. Yes, whether Ms. Rosanna Law would consider working with the, say, Antiquity Office and so on to implement the idea of tourism is everywhere. Allow me to answer the second question briefly. We will first work with the LCSD's venues. For water services departments and other departments' venues, we will see how it goes. Ms. Ellis-Mack, first we need to define what homestay lodging is. Back in year 2020, we have amended the ordinance and we have added and expanded the definition for homestay lodging. We have defined what types of buildings can obtain guest house licenses because we don't want to impose nuisance to other residents in the buildings. Now for rural areas, we are now formulating measures to allow village house owners to obtain a guest house license so that travelers can get a taste of life in rural areas. Now, as mentioned in the policy address, when village house owners apply for guest house licenses, we need to be flexible. We can't have a rigid list of conditions and only grant licenses after all the 10 conditions are fulfilled. We need to be flexible on a case-by-case basis. There are now already 100 guest house licenses for village houses. So in considering the application, we have to consider the impact on the neighbors and also provide facilitation for the industry to grow. Next, Mr. Kenneth Lau. Thank you. My question is about guest house. Now, the Home Affairs Department has updated the guideline to license application for guest house and holiday camps. So that will facilitate village house owners in the new territories to convert their homes into homestay lodging to attract travelers. Now, besides guest houses, around the world, there are a lot of hidden escapes in rural areas for high-end travelers. Now, I think we can consider this opportunity in the northern metropolis so as to implement the idea of tourism is everywhere. The northern metropolis can accommodate more than I&T industries. The talents need places to visit and enjoy themselves as well. So the Development Bureau should also be involved in developing tourism resources in rural areas. Now, the Hong Kong stadium's positioning is worrying. Now, there are two very outdated projectors, and the safety is very worrying. So, will the Hong Kong Coliseum or Hong Kong Stadium be repositioned? Ms. Alice Mack. Now, we would like to support the trade to develop holiday camps and guest houses. So, as I said, 100 holiday camp licenses have been issued, and there are 100 guest house licenses and 74 holiday camp licenses have been issued. We do provide facilitations for property owners to develop these businesses. Ms. Rosanna Law. Now, this is a new idea, redeveloping the Hong Kong Stadium. At the moment, we don't have such plan. Even after the completion of the Kai Tak Sports Park, many events have been held as the Hong Kong Stadium. Over the past few months, there were the exhibition match between Manchester United and the China national team, and also there were other major events. 80,000 spectators went to enjoy these three matches. There was also the 2025 Saudi Super Cup. The location of the Hong Kong Stadium is great, so we don't have plan to spend a large amount of money on rebuilding the Hong Kong Stadium. It still has its uses. On new facilities and new venues, maybe we can allow operators to conduct minor modification on the venue so that events can take place. Now, we will be flexible in considering applications from interested operators. Now, in the past, the Hong Kong Stadium was the only stadium with such a premier grass lawn for sports events. Now we can be more flexible. There can be definitely synergy between the Hong Kong Stadium and the Kai Tak Sports Park. We still need the Hong Kong Stadium. Mr. Michael Look. Thank you, Chairman. When it comes to characteristic tourism, the paper mentioned red tourism and red tourism resources. I think there is a trail which fits this category. Now, there is a hiking trail which played an important role in the rescue operations during the anti-Japanese aggression war. That's the Yunshun Ancient Trail. So the government renovates the Yunshun Ancient Trail to make it an iconic hiking trail like the MacLehose Trail, so that hiking competitions or other competitions can be held. Another suggestion is about sports development. We are going to host the national games, and I expect the mission to be a success. But the government has just amended the law to allow basketball betting. So if the profits earned by the jockey club, we would invest in basketball development in Hong Kong. Now the final games, the final of the National Basketball Association's games was held in Hong Kong. And the premier basketball league in the country is CBL. So we have hosted the second highest tier basketball league in Hong Kong. We don't have sufficient training venues for basketball teams. So can we establish a large-scale basketball training base in, say, Changuano, together with the jockey club?
Mr. Senna-Law, let's hear from you first. Well, maybe I'll take the question on basketball betting duty first. Well, I have to clarify, we haven't yet issued a license to the Hong Kong Jockey Club. this ordinance has just been passed. This helps us formulate a basketball betting duty framework, allowing the HYAB to issue licenses, and I have to clarify this. In panel meeting or at the council meeting, I also said that the development of sports in Hong Kong is not related to any betting policy in Hong Kong. There is no interplay between these two factors. They shouldn't be lumped together as a result. Ms. Law, thank you. I go along with Ms. Mack. The development of sports has nothing to do with granting or allowing betting duty in Hong Kong. I highlight the governance of sports association. In the code of governance, I keep a close watch on the mechanism. I'm in particular concerned about the governance of basketball. Now, there is much discussion on basketball betting duty. We want to improve governance, and there are actually many possibilities. Whether the mainland or the NBL or even NBA or WNBA, a lot of people are interested in better development of basketball. I do want to promote the development of basketball, and we need to start from governance. Then we can take it from there. Thank you. Ms. Rebecca Chen, thank you. I'd like to ask about community care teams, about bomb disposal and Ragasa. We can see the efforts of care teams will continue to render support. Regarding graduates, I can see that the policy address mentions a lot of measures for youth development. Regarding the repositioning of Hong Kong Coliseum, it was commissioned in 1983. It can accommodate a total of 12,000 spectators in the Coliseum. Now, the policy address mentions the prioritizing of concerts. I'd like to ask about positioning for international singers. You need to have 17 shows in the Hong Kong Coliseum to match the number of spectators in 5 shows held in the Hong Kong Kai Tak Sports Park. So we need a systematic upgrading and transformation. There are VIP rooms in the Kai Tak Sports Park, but there is none in the Hong Kong Coliseum. Do we need to upgrade the facilities of the Hong Kong Coliseum? And I'd also like to ask about in ICH. In Samtong Oak Museum, there is an ICH center as well, but it's lesser known among people in Hong Kong or tourists. So how can we showcase more ICH in Hong Kong? Can we hold any bazaars? As the secretary mentioned, there are areas in the West Kowloon Cultural District. Will you consider adding ICH elements to the West Kowloon Cultural District? Secretary, thank you. Now the Kai Tak Sports Park has been commissioned. Now we have the Kai Tak Stadium and the Kai Tak Arena that can hold concerts. Just now I received some inquiries. Some megastars asked about staging a show in the Hong Kong Coliseum. It is still very popular among international stars. So I don't think the interest in the Hong Kong Coliseum will wane. However, that being said, the Hong Kong Coliseum will still be a much popular venue of performance. But of course, international pop stars might not opt for the Hong Kong Coliseum. One of the reasons is that the Qatar Sports Park can house a total of 40,000 to 50,000 spectators, and pop stars will not have to stay in Hong Kong for that long. And for a larger stadium, the overall effects that could be achieved are very different. For Coldplay, there was a circular screen, and Coldplay brings it everywhere in their world tours. However, in the Hong Kong Coliseum, will there be any upgrading and transformation apart from Ms. Rebecca Chen's point about VIP rooms, which are lacking in the Hong Kong Coliseum? The Hong Kong Coliseum can still feature a lot of different effects. Say there's a hanging platform of 360 degrees. On the hanging platform, the singer or the star can hold a camera and the lyrics can be displayed immediately on the screen. There could also be some fireworks display. It depends on the capital input and the new technology the teams will introduce to the show. Regarding ICH, indeed, we want to showcase ICH elements and organize ICH activities in different areas so that we can achieve ICH around town. Now we have the Hong Kong ICH month. At the end of this year, we will hold Victoria Park Bazaar. It will also feature a lot of ICH elements. Just now we had Hungry Ghost Festival. We'll continue to promote ICH around town to showcase our ICH elements. Thank you. Next member, Mr. Ambrose Lam. Thank you. Just now I heard from Ms. Alice Mack. She talked about a wide array of measures and events. She referred to some events supporting the development of women. I'd like to ask about professional courses organized by tertiary institutions. And a lot of the students are females. Now for government representative, 10 are women, whereas 5 are men. I'd like to have some policies that support the development of men in society. I want to commend Ms. Rosanna Law for the work she's done. Just now we talked about Live Golf, the multi-year partnership arrangement. Regarding Fanling Golf Course, Live Golf player makes applications and they want to come to Hong Kong. On Sundays, pets are allowed on the golf course. However, on weekdays, there isn't as many people, so it is indeed a waste of resources. For the Impossible trial, I watched it for 3 times. It is indeed very great. I invited some lawyers to watch the show, and they spoke very highly of the show. I hope that the Secretary will promote such a great show to the international community, including the Hong Kong Palace Museum. Thank you. I went to Korea last week, and there was the Hong Kong Week. There were Hong Kong manga, Hong Kong Fashion Festival, Hong Kong performances, visual arts expo, and so on. The Impossible trial, we had a roving exhibition, a roving show of the Impossible trial in Shanghai and in Beijing. And I believe it will go to another mainland city soon. Is it possible to promote the impossible trial to the international community? Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to take into account the linguistic and cultural aspects. If the West Kowloon Cultural District Authority is willing to give it a try, we'll definitely do so with them. Well, the Fanling Golf Course isn't our topic for discussion today. It's quite complicated. As for Hong Kong Island, Hong Kong Open, Live Golf, National Games, golf game events, the government is definitely more than willing to work with the host organizations of the games. We can let them use the golf course. As I understand, the golf club has also organized a lot of activities to enhance the exposure of members of the public to golf. If they need to use the golf course, we're happy to consider the proposal. Thank you. Ms. Mack? Just now, Mr. Ambrose Lam talked about the gender distribution at tertiary institutions. Regarding our youth policies, whether they are men or women, we want to give them a level playing field for them to pursue their own development. We want to give them equal opportunities, whatever the genders are. Thank you. Mr. Benson, look, I have some questions. First of all, for the HYAB, the Bureau has done a lot of work on youth policies, especially after the publication of the Youth Development Blueprint. See the expansion of the member self-recommendation scheme. The members have the number of youth hostels have increased by 40-fold. Young people have a better sense of gain with the current term government, but I'd like to ask the HYAB about Klansman Culture Promotion Scheme. In paragraph 31 of the paragraph, a total of $30 million of funding will be set aside for the promotion of Klansman culture. A total of 38 funded activities are involving a total of $10 million. I went to the website of the HYAB and I did see a wide range of activities covering activities for the young. There are also cultural, food exchanges, facilities. How are you going to review the Klansman Culture Promotion Scheme? After the $30 million are spent, will it be regularized? And I'd like to ask the CSTB. This is my suggestion. The CSTB has made vigorous efforts in hosting the national games. In paragraph 15 of the games, we have held Zhuhai and Shenzhen to host the mass participation events or pre-event trials for two cross-boundary events, that is road cycling and athletics marathon. Since the handover, many people have asked whether it is possible to organize cross-boundary races in the Hong Kong Cyclothon. Some people ask whether it is possible to conduct or to organize a cross-boundary cyclothon. I believe the pre-trial events have provided us with a lot of good experience. We can continue to deepen our experience to see whether it is possible to organize cross-boundary sport events in order to support the development of mega events plus sport tourism.
Ms. Alice Mack on hometown culture. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Luke, for your support on our youth work. We will continue to adhere to our policy directions and pull efforts in society to create a platform for young people to shine. Now, concerning Home Culture Festival or Klansman Culture Promotion Scheme, the scheme has enhanced our communication and collaboration with Klansman associations. this will ensure that we can harness the strength of our clansmen associations to promote Chinese culture and hometown culture. Clansmen associations applied funding for a variety of activities. Some will promote understanding of hometown culture by youth. Some will fund visits to their hometowns. Some are in relation to bazaars and performances in relation to hometown cultures. Now we'll continue to review the advocacy of this scheme, and through this scheme we will continue to promote hometown and Chinese culture. Ms. Rosanna Law. Thank you, Mr. Benson Look. Now the cyclothon held by the Tourism Board involves cross-boundary elements as well. Now, having gained the experience from co-hosting the national games with Guangdong and Macau, and also with the cross-boundary test events, we are now confident that we can facilitate cross-boundary cycling and marathon events. We have contactless cross-boundary arrangements in place. The only worry is the logistics of the events in terms of roads closure and so on. The event itself needs to be a really major one to justify the effort. Now we have overcome all the technical barriers. The only issue is whether the event is worth it. Thank you. I'm the last speaker to speak in the first round. I have two questions, both related to sports and tourism. Now, in Chapter 2 of the policy address, the Chief Executive mentioned his importance attached to patriotic education. The government would collaborate with the Shenzhen government to organize a new red tourism route on Chinese cultural celebrity rescue history. Now, I support it. Now, the Anti-Japanese Aggression Museum has been opened since August. Now, the guerrilla has rescued more than 100 cultural celebrities and brought them to Hong Kong. So the activity was well received. The museum was fully funded by private philanthropists. So it shows that there are a lot of people in the community who would like to tell the stories of the guerrillas with their own resources. Now, we've also advocated to establish a museum in Yuen Long. Now, the venue operator supported the idea, but there were some difficulties in terms of finding a space. So in the end, we found a former factory premises to establish that showroom. So concerning developing a new red tourism route, with the government work with the private sector and deliver a more comprehensive picture of the guerrilla history together with the Shenzhen government. Now, about the West K Academy, I support the idea because it will provide professional training for art professionals. I believe this will ensure the inheritance of craftsmanship as well as promoting development of art. So I wonder how this West K Academy will be operated. What is the timetable and what are your goals? Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. In terms of patriotic education, the Chinese Cultural Celebrity Rescue. Now, this year is the 80th anniversary of the victory of the anti-Japanese aggression war. So we have significantly ramped up the awareness of society on this touching history. Many people have sacrificed to save these cultural treasures in the past. So about the new red tourism route on Chinese cultural celebrity rescue, it's more than a tourism route. The tourism board, the China Travel Agency, and the Culture Authority in Shenzhen will work together to make this a success. Now, it is also related to the Museum of Anti-Aggression War and Coastal Defense. Now, Jiangzhouwan is also a very important base during the War of Resistance. Now, the route will extend to the Shenzhen Museum on Cultural Celebrity Rescue. Travelers will be brought to see the exhibits in the Shenzhen Museum. So that's collaboration on the government level. On a private level, the Chinese Culture Promotion Office and the Coastal Defense Museum will be glad to collaborate with private enthusiasts to showcase exhibits. Now, in terms of the route of cultural celebrity rescue, is quite remote. So it may be more difficult to turn it into a tourism product. It would be easier to curate the history by the two museums and also the museum in Shenzhen. About the West K Academy, it will not require sufficient land resources. The West K Academy will be built in the West Kowloon Authority's existing land resources. It will be funded by the West Kowloon Cultural Authority as well. The academy will target local students and art workers. The academy will also seek to impart knowledges on art restoration and art management to students from overseas. Now, art restoration, management, and curation. Every year we have seen a lot of interest in these areas during annual exchange events. So I think the West K Academy can contribute to exchanges in this regard. Now, this is the second round. One member has requested to speak, Ms. Chen Yuming. Thank you, Chairman. I would like to invite Ms. Rosanna Law to answer my first question. Thank you. Chairman, Ms. Chan's question was about the 16,000 volunteers volunteering to help in the national games. How will they be awarded, or to make them feel a sense of gain? So we are very grateful to the volunteers. They have our utmost respect. So 1 month ago, we organized an inaugural ceremony at the Elizabeth Stadium. 1,800 volunteers were invited to participate in a oath-taking ceremony. It is really an honor. But the volunteers will get a great sense of a great national sense by participating in the event. Now, our volunteers will be given their own uniform. That's not the case for volunteers from places outside Hong Kong. So with the uniforms, the volunteers will feel the honor and pride in volunteering. On whether there would be certificates awarded to the volunteers, yes, after the National Games, the volunteers will be awarded certificates. It's not a lot, but it is a great memorabilia. Now concerning the office for organizing National Games, where will the human resources be deployed after the completion of the National Games? Now actually most colleagues employed in the office are time-limited positions. So after the completion of the National Games in December, by January next year, the colleagues working in the National Games Coordination Office will be reposted to other positions. A very small number of colleagues will remain in the office for one more quarter to complete the remaining work. So the National Games is a one-off event. So these positions are not permanent positions. So that would not be the issue of wasted manpower resources. Now, one of my colleagues has taken annual leave to become a volunteer in the National Games, so I support her. The next member, Mr. Perry Yu. Thank you, Chairman. Allow me to ask one more question. Now, the South boarding facility in West Kowloon. Now, over the past weekend, I attended an inaugural ceremony for an attraction run by the Longping 360. So why did I mention the South Landing facility? Now, besides enhancing the accessibility to the West Kowloon Cultural District by providing water transport, I think the water transport should be more than a means of commute only. Now, since water taxis are going to start operation in the fourth quarter this year, will the government collaborate with the West Kowloon Cultural Authority and the trade to ensure that travelers can feel the cultural ambience while they are on board these ships? I will convey your views to the West Kowloon Cultural District Authority. Any more questions? If not, this meeting is actually the last meeting of this panel for this legislative term and also the 7th legislative session. This is also the last meeting that I chair. So I thank members and government officials for your active participation in this panel's work in the past year. Thank you very much. There are no AOB. Meetings is adjourned. Thank you.